All right, so we're going to work on a few problems where we're starting with a table and we're going to find the rule. And so on the worksheet that you'll get in just a minute, there are going to be a couple levels of problems. This one's an example of a level A problem because they give you the y-intercept, right? So they tell me that when x is 0, y is 3. That's sort of that key column we're looking for, is when x is 0. And so that tells me where I am on the y-axis at the start. And so right away I know the plus b part of the equation. So now I need to find the slope, and that's going to go in front of the x. And there's a few different ways you can do this. One way that people sort of like to do is draw a graph. And so I've got a point at 0, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 5, comma, negative 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so now I just need to think about how much am I going over and down in this case. And so in this case, I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And since I'm going down, I'm going to count that as negative. And so my slope of this line, which goes like this, is rise over run, and so negative 10 over 5. And so this would be an answer. You can definitely reduce that because 5 goes into 10. And so you could also write it like this. So both of those answers would be acceptable. And so this is a rule that goes with this table. And then once I have the rule, I can fill in the rest of the table. And so if x is 6, I would plug in 6 and get negative 12 plus 3, which is negative 9. You can use a calculator if you need to. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. This one I have to work backwards. Sometimes you can do it in your head. You can also always replace y with that number and then just solve for x, which everybody is really good at. And so now I divide by negative 2, and I get x is negative 3. And so now I used that rule and I filled in the rest of the table. Right? So that's a level A problem. And so when you get the worksheet, you can sort of decide what level of difficulty you want to work on. You probably want to start with at least 1 or 2 of the A's before you move on to the B's. And level B, basically the difference is we don't know what the y-intercept is, right? So when I look at this, I don't know the y-intercept. And so again, there's a few different ways you can proceed. One way to get started is to think about the graph. So 2, negative 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and negative 1, comma 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so this one, when I look at it, I can get my slopes. So over 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so then when I connect them, I've got that slope triangle. I went down 9. Oops, sorry, you can't see that. I went down 9. And so now I know my equation is going to be negative 9 over 3, rise over run, times x. I need to know the b value, and I drew a pretty accurate graph here. This is why it's good to use graph paper for this. And I could also see that this slope reduces to 3 over 1. And sure enough, I can see that if I count down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1, I'm going to be right here. And so that y-intercept is plus 1. And so that now allows me to fill in this part of the chart, right? When x is 0, y is 1. When y is 20, I'm going to have 20 equals negative 3x plus 1. So I subtract, this was supposed to be negative 20. And so when I subtract 1, I get negative 21 equals negative 3x, divide by negative 3, and I get 7. Okay? And so up here in this chart, I get 7 for x when y is negative 20. And then I could plug in 4, negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, plus 1 is negative 11. So you're going to work on some problems. You're going to get this worksheet. There are a ton of problems on here. I want you to try and get 5 problems done, and they're labeled for difficulty, right? So remember, the A ones, you've got the y-intercept. The B ones, you do not have the y-intercept. if you're ready for a real challenge, level C, basically same ideas, but this time you have fractions. There's not much room on the paper, and so I want you to do all your work on a separate sheet of graph paper. So everyone will have a sheet of graph paper. Show your work, show your graph, show the rule, and then you can fill in the table on the worksheet itself. And then once you're done with at least 5 of these, then you can work on some homework. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.